One, two shoes.
Ginger Runner.
What is up, everybody? Ethan Newberry, the Ginger Runner, here for another Ginger Runner review. Before we get into the review, I just want to check in with you, see how you're doing, see how your summer's going, how running is going, adventures. Have you been able to get out to the mountains at all, or are you taking on new challenges, new goals? Just checking in, hoping that you are doing well. Also, earlier this week, I was very fortunate to witness Dylan Bowman's amazing fastest no time on the Wonderland Trail around Mount Rainier. It was an incredible experience. Yes, I was filming. Yes, there will be something that comes of that eventually. Soon, hopefully. But today, it's a review, and I want to get right on into it. I'm reviewing two shoes because they're so similar. Saucony Endorphin Speed and Endorphin Pro. Very similar, these two. A reminder that these shoes were provided for review by Running Warehouse. They allow me to say whatever I want about a shoe, so I do. Today is no different. Let's get into it. This new Endorphin series from Saucony is probably some of the most exciting stuff that they've released in their shoe lineup in quite some time. Cushioned, responsive, and plated shoe options injected right into the Saucony Road lineup, designed to speed us up and get us those highly sought after PRs. I am pretty sure we can all figure out exactly what shoe manufacturer Saucony is chasing with these shoe designs. Little hint. But frankly, I'm here for it. They're exciting shoes. So yes, I'm focusing on these two shoes, the Endorphin Speed and the Endorphin Pro, because they are so similar. Now, a majority of my review miles were spent in the Endorphin Speed. I ran about 82 miles in this shoe and just under 40 miles in the Endorphin Pro. That says a little bit about where this review is going, but I do want to compare these two because they are so similar. The differences are noteworthy. The likes and dislikes will carry over from one shoe to the other as well. I'll do my best to sort of cover a lot of why these shoes are the same while also how they differ. And by the end of this review, I hope to provide you with enough information where maybe you can decide on if these are the type of shoes that you want in your lineup. So let's get right on into it. The Endorphin Pro and Endorphin Speed are dramatically similar shoes. The new Endorphin line is three-tiered, with the Pro being the most race-ready, the Speed adapting to race or training environments, and the Endorphin Shift taking up the role as a heavy trainer. I may review the shoe at a later date, but today I'm going to focus primarily on the Endorphin Speed and the Endorphin Pro. So both of these shoes feature an amazing stack of Power Run PB midsole, 33 millimeters in the heel, 25 millimeters under the forefoot. They're light and airy, featuring Saucony's speed roll geometries, similar outsole design, as well as both featuring internal plates. So this is actually where the shoes begin to differ. The Speed features a more flexible nylon plate, while the Pro features a stiff and energy-efficient carbon plate. You'll immediately notice a difference in dynamics of these two plates when you get them on your feet. The Endorphin Pro also features a thinner and reduced upper reminiscent of racing flats, while the Endorphin Speed features a more traditional, light and airy mesh that Saucony has used in other shoes in the past. You can tell Saucony has tried to create two different shoes on very similar platforms, and both shoes certainly cater to a certain type of runner looking to race fast, set PRs, and focus on speed. So, do either of these Endorphin shoes tickle my fancy? You can probably just tell by the dirtiness of one that, yes. Is a carbon-plated shoe a ride of the future, or will a nylon-plated shoe hold up just the same? Can you even tell the two apart? Hopefully we'll figure out some of that in today's review. I like to talk about the things that I like and dislike about all products that I review. Today is no different, starting as always with things that I like. Power Run midsole. So this midsole I have talked about a lot in my Saucony reviews that have used this midsole. It's nice. It's cushioned, yet responsive. In this case, the stack is so tall, you're getting a lot of it underfoot, and it's super comfortable. I noticed that right out of the box, just how soft and plush, yet springy and bouncy it is. It's almost like running on a trampoline. I don't use that description often because it sounds a little cartoony. The reality is it gives you that squish and bounce. The energy return in Power Run is wonderful, especially when you have this amount of it. Now, even just looking at it is very reminiscent of Adidas Boost. You kind of have these pellets that are welded together to sort of make this midsole material. It feels a little bit different than Boost in that it's holding up a lot better. I'm not getting a lot of flattening out or any of that as the midsole begins to open up. I like it. I like it a lot. And I think it works well in both the Speed and the Pro. Everything's fine. The nylon plate. So this is the difference in these shoes that you'll notice right away. The Speed has a nylon plate in the midsole. The Pro has a carbon fiber plate. The carbon fiber plates are renowned for their stiffness. You're gonna feel that energy return underfoot immediately. I'm favoring the nylon plate. It gives you decent energy return while not being super intrusive or forcing your foot in a real mechanical way. It has plenty of flexibility, but also lots of snap and springiness to get you right back out of your foot strike. I like it. I was surprised to like it as much as I do. It does not make its presence known in a detrimental way. The shoe doesn't force you to run in a certain way. It really adapts to your foot strike. Lots of flexibility despite that plate being in there. I really enjoy the nylon plate. The carbon plate in the Endorphin Pro, much stiffer. Durability, another surprise now, again, with just over 80 miles in this shoe, just how well it's holding up. I'm talking the upper, the welded overlays, the midsole material, the outsole, like it's all holding up better than I ever would have imagined based off some of my experiences in other Saucony shoes that tend to wear out after a certain period of time, but it's doing really well, especially that Power Run midsole, holding up quite well. The Endorphin Pro, while I don't have nearly as many miles in it as I do in the Speed, I just know that the upper materials are much thinner. While they might hold up for quite some time, I just have a feeling that the Speed is gonna hold up a lot better in the long run. Weight. So both the Speed and the Pro are incredibly lightweight for how much shoe you're actually getting underfoot with the plate and the midsole stack, all that. The Endorphin Pro weighs in at 8.5 ounces in my size 11, which is a pretty lightweight shoe with all that stack and everything. The Endorphin Speed weighs in at 8.9 ounces, so only 0.4 ounces separate these two shoes, which isn't a lot. So you're not saving a ton of weight by upgrading that $40 to the Endorphin Pro. You lose a little bit of the durability of the materials, you get a lot more stiffness, and you save a little bit of weight. So that's kind of another reason why I'm leaning a lot towards the Speed as far as shoe choice is concerned. That being said, it's not all in and out grilled cheese with a side of fries, well done, animal style. There are a couple of things that I dislike about the Endorphin Speed and Pro. Let's get to those now. Lateral stability. So with the added stack of this shoe and that sort of soft cushioned midsole material, very springy stuff, you're not getting a lot of width here through the outsole or flare through the midsole. What that leads to is a bit of imbalance in that forefoot strike. Sauconys aren't renowned for their roomy toe boxes or forefoot there. If you have issues with fitment, them being too narrow, that's really the problem that carries over into these shoes. They're narrow, therefore providing a little bit of lateral stability issue. For road runners who are racing fast, going in those straight lines, you're not gonna be dodging around corners a ton. It may not be something that necessarily bothers you, but for me, I like feeling just, I don't know, a little bit more confidence under my forefoot when I'm in a shoe that is a bit higher off the ground, especially ones that really wanna spring me forward. I just like a little bit more confidence underfoot. So that's where I'm coming to it from there. Price. This is gonna be one of the things that probably shocks a lot of people or doesn't shock anybody. But the Endorphin Speed is $159. The Endorphin Pro is $199. I get it. The plate technology shoes, they're gonna be higher price point. Many of you probably are already expecting that. But these two are separated by $40, which I kind of already mentioned in this review. And not a lot of quality difference. Lighter, more race ready in the Pro, and something that's more trainable and durable in the Speed. So why spend the extra $40? Save yourself a little bit of cash and maybe go for the Speed, which is still expensive, $159. So start stealing your kid's allowance and stashing it away in a jar on the top of the fridge. Shoes are fun. They're gonna cost you a little bit extra. And finally, looks. I don't know how Saucony did it, but they managed to make the shoes look both exciting and boring at the same time. I kind of look at them and think that it's a Lisa Frank experiment gone wrong. Many of you might look at these and go, oh, you know what? I love those. I love the subtlety, the colors, the brightness, whatever. And some of you might look at those and go, yeah, not for me. This is gonna be a mixed bag on the looks of these shoes. One thing I just kind of wanted to note by making this a dislike is the potential confusion that having shoes look so similar can do for the consumer. So if you're looking at a shoe wall, you might see these shoes side by side and go, those look like the same shoe. You may not realize that they're two different shoes. Really, you're looking at that black bar there in the midsole and maybe some of the highlights on the upper. But almost all of the Saucony shoes this season have that bright fluorescent yellow, bright fluorescent red, pink, and that blue mixed with white and black. They're all gonna look a bit samesies, and that might just contribute to a little bit of consumer confusion. I'm making note of it. You might look at that and go, how would anyone mix those shoes up? It'll happen. So I just, wanted to make note of that. But that's actually it for dislikes. In conclusion, I think I have found one of my new favorite road shoes in quite some time in the Endorphin Speed. I am obviously comparing these two shoes because they both have plate technology. I just found myself wanting to grab these more often than these. You would think it's more expensive, it's faster, it's going to get you to the finish line quicker. The reality is this is just more comfortable, a better all-around shoe, something that would work for tempo runs, long distance runs, races, short effort, speed workouts. It kind of was the best of all of those worlds while still holding up quite well. So it's a really fun shoe. You know what, a part of me kind of wants to make the comparison to early day Kinvaras with a bit more cushioning and snappiness, which isn't a bad thing. You remember how much I pined over the early Kinvaras. This is reminiscent, and Saucony, you may be onto something here. It's still just really narrow. If you have wanted to dabble in a plated shoe, something with a carbon plate from some brand out there, this nylon plated Endorphin Speed is a really great shoe to sort of experiment. See if it's something that will work for your race environment or for those long training runs, or when you want to pick up the pace a little bit and start moving a bit faster with some technology underfoot that might assist in that. The price point is up there, but it's not as expensive as some, and is a shoe that can adapt to a variety of situations where the carbon plated shoes tend to work in really fast race environments. And those already with an amazing kick in their step will certainly benefit from something like that. Whereas I think a lot of us can kind of benefit from something a bit more subtle. And it's not gonna rip up your calves in the process. Let's get a little bit more specific. Build quality, better than I thought. The shoe is holding up quite well. It's getting dirty, it's getting used, and it's holding up quite well. The outsole's holding up, the midsole hasn't flattened out. Yeah, durability of materials is better than I expected out of a shoe that has a plate and is meant to kind of do one thing. Comfort, really, really great. The Power Run midsole is soft, cushioned, springy, and pops you off with that nylon plate. So overall, I think the comfort of the shoe is better than I thought. Could use a little bit more width here in that outsole, just a little bit more stability through that forefoot when you're landing on that. That's kind of my biggest detriment when it comes to comfort and overall stability and confidence in the shoe. Fits like all Saucony's. It's a bit narrow through that forefoot. You can tell just by my lacing that I tend to go a little bit wide towards the bottom. I tighten it up in the midfoot and leave it a little bit looser here towards the ankle. That tends to be how I fit in most Sauconys. This is no different. It is going to be more precision fit than many of you are used to. I wish that it was just a bit more accommodating up front. Price at $159, it's definitely a more expensive shoe. That's probably one of its biggest detriments and will probably turn most people off to it because of that. At $199, that alienates even more people and puts it into a completely different realm. So price is certainly not this shoe's strong point. And finally, looks. Again, it's going to be up to you whether or not you like this shoe. There's a part of me that likes it. There's a part of me that just really doesn't. As you can tell, I do like bright colors. So there's a part of me that's drawn to the brightness, but there's also a part of me that's like, how could they make something with so much potential just look so meh? Bringing us to our final criteria, is the Endorphin Speed or the Endorphin Pro a buy, try, or a why? I think you know where I'm going with this. The Endorphin Speed is certainly a try, if not a buy. I'm going to lean into the try because of the price point. The Endorphin Pro is more of a why. Why spend that extra $40 when you have this right here that'll save you a little bit of cash and give you a really similar experience without a lot of the pain and suffering that comes with the carbon plated shoe? That's where I'm leaning here, which I think hopefully answers a lot of your questions that many of you have sent to me in regards to these offerings from Saucony. So that is it for today's review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you would like to get a pair of the Endorphin Speed for yourself, I have links in the description that will take you over to Running Warehouse. If you are a Patreon subscriber, there are discount codes for Running Warehouse, all that good stuff. Go grab a pair for yourself. The links are affiliate links. They cost you nothing. They do help the channel out. You can use them. You don't have to. No pressure. And finally, my question to you: have you run in the Endorphin Speed, the Endorphin Pro, or even the Endorphin Shift? In the comments of this video, let me know your thoughts on these shoes. Are they something that excites you? Have you PR'd in a race in them? I mean, who's racing right now? But do you like them? Have you run in them? Let us know in the comments. That is it for today's review. If you liked it, make sure you like, favorite, and subscribe to this channel, and click the notification bell to be updated every time we update a new video or do a live stream, all that good stuff. Social media links right over there that will tell you where, basically follow that. At the bottom, patreon.com/thegingerrunner is where you can support this channel, keep the lights on, keep the mics hot. We are also doing daily live streams. Every single day we go live for about an hour. We talk about running, gear, we answer questions. We kind of do the whole rigmarole there at patreon.com/thegingerrunner. So please join our community, join the GR crew. We would love to have you, and we'd love to meet you. That is it. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to today's review. We hope that you enjoyed it. Get out there, train as hard as you can, virtually race harder and party to the hardest. I know I am. We'll see you guys next week for some more fun. Bye-bye.